How to import and export the identification parameters in PractiCAD. PractiCAD gives you the ability to import or export your identification parameters like zone, floor, and system number after you have created them. This way you can send them to another user. To do this, you must go into the library icon on your PractiCAD ribbon. On the left-hand side, we're going to open up the section that says Presets by clicking the little plus key. Then we're going to click on Identification. Once we click on Identification, PractiCAD is going to light up the Import and Export buttons. First, we're going to export our current identification parameters. One thing to take notice is that when you export identification, you are exporting everything all at once, meaning all the different identification types you see here will all export under one file. System number, zone, floor, special instructions, mark as, and accessories. We're going to come over to the left and press the export button. When we press on it, PractiCAD is going to ask us to save the file to a folder. We're going to save it in the PractiCAD Training video folder. Notice that as a default, it is named identification, but we can change the name here. We're now going to hit save. Once we've done that, they've been exported. Before we go to import them back in, we're going to hit the Clear All button. This button empties out all the identification types. So if we click Clear All, we're going to press it now. PractiCAD is going to ask us, do we want to delete all the items? We're going to say yes. And now you can see that all the types are now blank. To import them, all we need to do is come over to the Import key. When we click on it, we're now going to go and find the identification file we saved in the earlier folder. We're going to click on it and then press Open. When we do that, PractiCAD will ask us to confirm our actions. We're going to say yes. And now we have all of the identification types back. Now this does not need to be done from this specific window. You can actually import identification parameters from the workbox itself. To do that and represent it, we're first going to clear all of the parameters again and then hit the Save key. We're now going to exit out of the library and go over to the workbox. Notice in the workbox there's a button called Import Identification. You can see currently that zone is completely blank, so is floor and system number. We're now going to press Import Identification. When we do that, we can do the same thing we did inside the library. We select the identification file and we press Open. PractiCAD will now populate all the fields, so here are our zones, floors, and system numbers. That concludes the tutorial on importing and exporting the identification parameters.